Hey guys, I wanted to do something a little bit different today. As you probably already know, I filmed this is probably about a month before this video will go live. And as I'm filming this right now, it's not long after the release of Football Manager 2024. And I know about all of the complaints and all the criticism about the bugs and all the problems about, the Saudis pay too much money for players and the idea that players seem to get more hurt and frustrated in terms of morale now than ever before and all this other stuff. And so I thought it might be nice to create, a little bit of a guide to what time you should buy Football Manager versions. This is going to be unpopular, I know, because every time I talk about it on places like Reddit, people downvote me. But the truth of the matter is that you don't necessarily want to start buying Football Manager as soon as it comes out. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at this and see what we can figure out. We're just going to go over here and take a look at the screen, and you can see right here in our wonderful article about Football Manager that we have a lot of versions of this game going back to 2005 that I never played. 2006 was my first version. And over the years, eventually, that went from a game on CD version over to this sort of Steam-based system where the game is updated on a regular basis. So we're going to look back from Football Manager 2020 to 2023 and even a little bit of 2024, see if we can come up with any sort of patterns, right? So Football Manager 2020 was released on November 18th, 2019. Came with so many versions, blah, blah, blah. This doesn't really tell us very much about the game other than the fact that there was this trailer and stuff was added in and 3 million units were sold. Wikipedia is not that good for much other than having an idea of when the release is going to be. So that's mid-November. 2021, which was the first version I really became interested in, was released officially on November 24th, 2020. And I remember that very, very well. I remember spending a lot of time, especially in the first couple of weeks, playing with the beta. There were a couple of updates here and there, but again, this doesn't really tell you too much about it other than that it sold a lot of versions. Football Manager 2022 was released on November 8th, so the release date went up a little bit. 2023, again, November 8th is when it was released. It says Windows. It was actually released for every platform at once. And then FM 2024 was released, of course, November 6th, so that was up a little bit further, a little bit earlier than anticipated. And then you can see this little thing about false advertising about the J-League in the game. Whatever. We're not going to worry about that in this video. That's for another video. Now we want to look back and we want to go through sort of the update history for some of these games. So we'll look here on SteamDB at Football Manager 2020. We have to scroll down to see this stuff, and pretty soon you'll see what it is that we're talking about, right? So the game's released. What happens? There are hot fixes that come out right afterwards, and then you have a couple more hot fixes, match engine updates. There's the big winter transfer update. And here really is around the time when I would recommend looking into buying this game. This is right here. When you get that February transfer update, when you get the final full version out, this would have been March 2020. That's around the time you really should be looking up and getting the game, because all of the fixes that are going to come have really come through, except for these hot fixes and small updates and stuff. You really want to wait probably until about March. If you can hold it for about 5 months, you want to wait until then to update. Here's FM21. Same thing happens here in FM21, right? The main winter update comes out at February 22nd, 2021. And then more about the change list here. I think that the final version comes up. Yeah, I see SI final is probably right around here, around April. If you're able to wait that long, that's around the time you want to get it. Remember, you can get the game on sale if you are patient and if you can wait that long instead of having to have it right away. Remember as well, the Football Manager versions cannot be purchased after the new version comes out. So like right now, you can't buy FM 2023 on Steam. I think you can get it on CD from certain places, but it gets a little bit shady. FM 2022, same thing. So I bought this one right when it came out, and there were all sorts of updates that started off from the very beginning and attempts to fix all the bugs that happened. The final update came out when it was at the end of March 2022. So you can see that date's kind of moving back. As the initial release moves forward, the date of the last update moves back. And then finally, we have here FM 2023, where the final China data update, which is the one that you really want, didn't come out until early May. I would anticipate that FM 2024's final update probably will also not really come out until early May. I'd recommend looking for that final data update, though, which again, it looks like late March, maybe early April, when you should really consider buying the game. Because usually you can get it for like half off. You can get a better deal on it, get it straight out of Steam instead of buying it from a sketchy store, and things work well. Now, the other reason why I recommend waiting is because when you look at really good mods that help the game out a lot, you're better off waiting. So this is my favorite. I've talked about it before. It says Darth Furion's mod. And when we look back, we'll go back through 2020. We can even look at the Extreme Edition, 2021, 2022, and then 2023. What we'll see is that these don't really come out until a little bit later on in the life of the game. So this was updated at least April 25th, 2020, which means it came out a little bit before then. Remember, that's after that March date. That's after the very end of the release schedule. I'm just going to look here really quick and see if there was a date he put anywhere. And it doesn't really look like, oh, here we go, update history. Right, so yeah, it actually came out to begin with April 3rd, 2020. By late April, basically, this version was complete. Then he came out with the Extreme Edition, and that was later on. That was actually much later on. We go back and we look at when this was updated, if he even has a update list here. He doesn't. But this didn't come out really until like August, September, so it was right before the new game came out. That's 2020. Here's 2021. This is, of course, when I really became interested in it. He had a different file actually for the version 0.4 update. So he came out with this as early as January, but the one you really want to play, which is this Ultimate Edition, which had more clubs and which had a lot of bug fixes and things like that. That thing came out later on. It came out after the final update was finished. So again, you're looking probably at sometime around April or so. Here we go. Second version released on April 26, 2021. So you got to wait like a month after the final version of the game to get like the really, really good add-ons. Here's FM22. FM22 comes out, the new edition, August 25th, 2022. So again, you're at the very, very end of the life of the game when some of the best mods are coming out and some of the best things are happening that, can like last you hours and hours and hours. And then, of course, FM23, the latest update for that was November 8th, 2023, which is like the day that right after FM24 came out. He made a version that was compatible with FM24 for people who really wanted to play that. You can do that if you want, but again, I would recommend waiting until you get the version actually designed for the newest version of the game. So there you have it. That's sort of my buyer's guide, which is that if you buy Football Manager right when it comes out, don't be surprised if you feel really, really frustrated with the product that you have. Usually the game comes out and it's not the complete game. It's not updated. There are all sorts of bugs and little problems and stuff. And if you're like most people, you buy that game, it comes out, and then you go onto the forums and you complain over and over again about how they keep selling a game that's broken, and this happens every year, and you're not going to fall for it again next year, and then you fall for it again next year. Instead of doing that, hold your horses, play the game that you have that's complete, stick with that, and wait until the final update comes out, and then look for a good deal. Try to buy it 50% off. Usually you can find a sale like that on Steam. Save your money, and then you get to play a lot of Football Manager in the meantime, and then you can let all the other suckers worry about all the bugs and all this other stuff that's going on. But you can sit back and wait all that out and wait until the game's updated before you have your real initial shot at it. Anyway, that's what I would do. I'll talk with you later. Bye.